Thank you very much, Senator. Question for you, sir. How do you feel about immigration and secure borders?
Thank you, sir. I support secure borders, and I believe that this country has its first and foremost obligation to secure its borders. And that must be our first priority. And I'll try to be brief. We also, in my view, have to have a temporary worker program that works, because I believe there are jobs in America that Americans will not do. And our proposal basically is, if you advertise a job for 60 days, no American takes that job, you can enter into a contract with someone in another country. That person get a tamper-proof biometric visa, comes and works. As long as they're working, they can stay here. When they stop working, they go back to the country that they came from. But that tamper-proof biometric visa is the only document and the sole document, and any employer who hires someone without that should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. When the word comes, when the word goes south of our border that even if you get across our border, you can't get a job because nobody will hire you, then we could dry up that magnet that's pulling people across. I would also remind you, a little known or a little discussed fact, 30% of the people who were here in this country illegally didn't come across our border. They came with visas that were valid and they overstayed them. So we've got to enforce that aspect of it too, of the people who have just overstayed their visas. Finally, what do you do with the 12 million people who are already here illegally? Now, I can tell frankly, by your body language that you are angry, and a lot of people share your anger, or your, frustration. I don't mean anger. Frustration, if I may say, because in the 1980s, we gave amnesty to 3 million people and said we'd secure our borders. We gave the amnesty and didn't secure the borders. So people, of course, are angry and cynical about what we might do. So I believe that we've got to work out an equitable system where we take care of the people, the issue of the 12 million people who are here illegally already. Some send them back. Some maybe say you can work for 3 years and then extend your work permit if you are working for 3 years, etc. Some people who have been here for 40 or 50 years and have children here, let them earn their citizenship by paying fines and getting behind everybody else for a green card and working for years and years before they would, and everybody else who's ahead of them legally. But I'm happy to tell you that the President of the United States is heavily engaged. I've been heavily engaged with a bunch of other Republican senators. I think we are coming up with a proposal rather soon that I think will be largely satisfactory to you as far as a comprehensive approach is concerned. I'd like to mention one other thing to you, and that is that for the first time we've got a Mexican president who I think is serious. I think that he's serious. The new president of Mexico just extradited a bunch of drug dealers to be in U.S. prisons. That's the first time it's ever happened. You know, they live rather well in Mexican prisons, the drug dealers are. Now they're a guest of the federal system of the United States of America. He is committed to cleaning up a lot of this corruption on the border. I hope he can succeed. I'm not positive that he can succeed because the corruption is very endemic, but at least I think we've got a president who is willing to try. And that, of course, is very important for us to have some cooperation from the Mexican government, which, as you know, has not been the case in the past. I hope within a very short period of time that we can come up with, working with the White House, a comprehensive solution that I hope you would find to be satisfactory. And I certainly understand the emotion and frustration associated with this issue. Thank you for the question. I'm sorry for the long answer.